Right, we are rolling. So, welcome to another Grit and Grime basketball pod. You got a problem? All right, we're recording. So this is it's not the season yet, is it?
Nah, it's on the cusp.
On the cusp.
It's tonight. On the cusp of the season.
So season starts tonight. We're recording this on Tuesday night.
Yes, sir.
By the time you listen, you'll probably finally watch some basketball this season.
Mm-hmm.
Let's introduce everyone in the building first to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
To my left, we have Thomas Arnold.
Hey.
Remember when you used to be the Rook?
Yeah, I know, right?
That was time.
Long time.
Opposite him, we have Iobi Ibi.
Chris Dunn.
No.
4 and 1. None of that AO nonsense that you've been doing recently.
Try and make sense of it, man. Try and make sense of it. And next to him, opposite me, we have a special guest.
Yes, sir.
Let me
And
press
again,
the button a few more
you know what I mean?
times, man. I'm
Do you have any-
Charlie Sloth in
Exactly.
here.
Do you have any clue bombs?
I don't have any bombs.
No, you don't have any bombs.
I don't have any
It's
bombs.
MVP, bro. Come on.
Ah, man. Let me see if this works.
No.
Oh, shame.
Wrong
Oh,
button.
that's wrong one. You're crazy.
There, right
I mean, he
out.
does play for the wrong London team.
Well, we were there at the game.
I mean, we were there at the game. You know what I mean?
We got to
Capella's,
shake hands with the Royals
You
players.
know?
Fair enough.
Someone left pretty quickly.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You got that one.
Yes, sir.
Justin Robinson.
Yes, sir. Hand claps.
MVP.
Hand claps.
Clap
Absolutely.
it up, man. Thank
British
you for coming.
Basketball
Thank you
League,
for having me, man.
2-time MVP, current
being
MVP,
here.
reigning.
Mhm. Just
I would
ripped up
say
the All-Star game.
100% ripped it up. For me, sort of a UK point guard for me. Someone that's...
Man, I know the Royals won that game,
Yes.
but what was the one thing I said to you about this man here?
He's going to dominate.
He's a killer.
Yeah. Yeah, and what did he do? He killed.
It was a little stretch where man was just like,
Yeah.
you know what, I've got to...
It wasn't enough, though. You know.
I mean,
It wasn't
true,
enough,
very
man.
true. But at the same time, you proved why you were the MVP, or you are the MVP. You know,
Yeah.
you proved your dominance and your skill, and that the matchup between yourself and Lawrence was something to savor. I wish our viewers were at the game. Some people that were listening, some people are listening that were at the game, and But yeah, no, congratulations on your recent success, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Definitely an honor, man.
Thank you. So we're just going to start off with a few questions for you. How's your season going?
To be honest, it's a slow start. We're 0-3 right now. Just kind of funky situation, just trying to get that chemistry down.
Yeah.
Had a few guys arriving late.
Yeah.
Recently had an American big man leave. So right now a lot of guys out of position, and 4-man's playing the 5, 3's playing the 4. So just trying to get that chemistry and that unity as a team and just gel together, really. I'm not that concerned in terms of moving forward.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just trying to stay positive, really.
True. I guess the way the season, the new structure is set up is somewhat similar to sort of Pro A, where they start off the season with the cup, but unlike Pro A, with us over here, it's a prolonged cup run up until what, sort of November?
I think December the first.
December's
8th,
crazy.
I think.
So I guess if anything, if we're looking at the grand scheme of things, the league is the most important. The league is the most important thing, and I guess right now you're just kind of feeling yourself out, really.
Pretty much, yeah.
And there's
pretty
time
much.
to turn things
Exactly,
around.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, like I said, just trying to stay positive, and just trying to get better every day at practice, man. Just try to fix the things that we can fix, and the rest just take care of itself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No.
So yeah, I mean, yes, you've spoken about how the season's going. Sort of, what was your main things coming into this season? From that you sort of learnt from last season. Things you've either wanted to kind of improve on, or kind of just wanted to necessarily achieve.
From a team standpoint.
Team standpoint or individual.
I always speak about team standpoint because I feel like once you sort yourself out and the team wins, everything just kind of falls into place.
Right.
So I'd say like we let a trophy go last year. Obviously, you know, losing to the Royals in overtime in Glasgow.
Damn you, Ed Lucas.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that shot.
In it.
I mean, that's like my little brother, you know. It's like my little brother. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that's something that we'll speak about for decades to come, you know.
I mean, you can cuss him out.
No.
It's all South here. I'm a South man. It's all South here. You can cuss him out.
Obviously, it's just a game at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, that was a great game, but also a game that we should have won, you know. Just a stupid mistake by myself, losing that game. But I think there was a few games that we lost that we shouldn't have lost. So I think just moving forward, just trying to win all the trophies, really.
Right,
Obviously, last year we won 2 out of 4.
Yeah.
And this year, just coming in, just trying to get all 4. Obviously, it ain't going to be easy. We've got a lot of great teams, Rose, Leicester, Newcastle, Glasgow, look strong this year. So, I mean, for me, it's just about just trying to win everything, you know.
Of course.
There's no point of going into a game or going into a competition if not trying to win. So, I think once you win as a team, all the other stuff takes care of itself, you know.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
With your experience, I mean, you've got, what was it now, like 10 years experience playing professional?
Ninth year.
Ninth year. I mean, sort of talk to us about where you played internationally, because that's one thing about, you know, the British, I would, in my opinion, what I consider to be the British elite players, and I believe you're of that standard, you're of that ilk. The British elite, you know, with it be it yourself, be it Matthew Ammoning, be it Ashley Hamilton, or whoever, a lot of them play abroad. You know, sort of talk to us where you played and your experience and what leagues you've played in.
Well, coming out of college in the States, my first year was in Greece. That was my first team, a team called Marousi, and had to leave there. Obviously, there was financial issues, weren't paying us, so I joined the team in Greece. The year after that, I joined the team in Ukraine, which was horrible place to live. I mean, me personally, I hated it. You know, just the whole country, the whole vibe, the weather, the people. It just wasn't. It wasn't a place that I was happy. You know, and for me, that was the year that I learned that money wasn't everything, because that was like my biggest contract in my career in terms of like month to month basis.
Interesting.
And I was the most unhappy. Like I was waking up every day like, oh, this is long, man. You know, so that's when I kind of put things into perspective. Like, you know, money can't solve everything. You know,
of course.
And then the year after that, I was in Hungary, which was quite a good experience. I linked up with an old teammate that I played with in Ukraine. And we joined each other on the same team in Hungary, made it to the finals, ended up losing the finals. And then the next 3 years, I played in Greece, which was amazing, you know. The Greek, I'm sure you guys know about the Greek fans.
Of course.
Passionate.
Yeah, of course.
Greek coaching is like top notch. Everything's really organized and tactical and strategic. Obviously, you know, you got the financial side where it's a bit unstable. You know, you might get paid a month late, or you know, there's financial issues with the team, or something wrong with your apartment. You know, this little small things off the court. Yeah. But in terms of like the lifestyle, you know, it was an amazing place to be. You know,
but I bet the weather was beautiful as well.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, obviously it depends where you are in Greece. It depends on the time of the year, but just like the people are very warm. You know, like your neighbors will come and bring you a cake, or you know, you know, in Greece there's a lot of like holidays and name days,
of course, right.
So they're quite warm and receptive people, from my own experience, you know. And then at the end of my third year in Greece, I joined the team in France, and I was only there for about 2 months, and then last 2-3 years been at London Lions, so. I've been about. Actually, I missed out. I was also in Sweden.
Oh, wow.
For the playoffs.
Okay.
And Slovenia. But I was only there for like 10 days. Obviously, contractual issues, and the team had to do some like shady stuff. So I just bounced, man.
Okay.
I did want to obviously you had a varying experience in each of these countries. As far as, because you weren't anywhere for more than a short period. I think Greece was the only place you stayed for a full season. language-wise, how did you find moving around and bouncing around? Because that's one thing that we personally think that the BBL doesn't take enough advantage of, the fact that it's an English-speaking country,
Big time.
league. So we could easily attract Canadians and Australians and Americans over here. But as he said, a lot of the best British players have to go into Europe to play. I just wonder how you get on with the language, let alone the culture and all of that, just language alone.
Language can be tough, but again, it depends where you go. Cyprus, everyone pretty much spoke English, you know, a lot of English tourists, English businesses. Greece was tricky, depending on the age of the people. You know, a lot of young people speak kind of like broken English, or, you know, it's just, a lot of it is just universal body language, you know, you just try to get in where you fit in. The hardest place was Ukraine. Like,
I can imagine.
even some of my teammates didn't speak English. Like, it was rough, man. And like, you know, a lot of racism out there, and just like a hostile environment, you know. But nowhere was really too tough to handle in terms of like language. I mean,
It must have been. How difficult was that? Sort of, especially with Ukraine, with regards to understanding the cultures, understanding plays. You know, different offensive, defensive schemes, things like that. How was that?
Well, our coach in Ukraine was actually Italian. Yeah, so he spoke English, which helped, but he was like the biggest jerk like ever. like the worst coach I've ever had. Like in terms of like a personality, like people skills and community, it was just horrible. But in Ukraine, it was just I was just fortunate to have good American teammates. I had a guy, Anthony Goods, and Jared Jones, and you know, in a situation like that, you kind of like just band together, you know, and like it's us against you guys. you know what I mean? So, man, we just kind of stuck together and just rolled it out, man. You know?
Have you ever been in a situation like this in a timeout? The coach says something and you're like,
oh yeah,
what's going on?
For
Like,
sure.
what am I supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
So that's something I always wonder. Like, 'cause I
many
watch a lot
times.
of French basketball. So
Or
they kind of, most coaches will speak in English, right?
Yes.
But like, there'll be the, you know, even so often, like there'll be a timeout when they'll just go in French and be like, I'm like, shit, the American guys don't speak.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell. You can just.
How'd you deal with that?
Or like if you have like a translator, a guy that's translating for the coach, he might translate for you, but it's a different
not the whole thing.
You know what I'm saying? Or like, 'cause obviously
Make mistakes.
a message, once you keep passing the message on, it's going to change eventually.
Yeah.
So he might tell you a complete different thing, and then obviously you go into the game, you mess up, coach screams at you, but you know, it's one of them things that you just get through, really. You know what I mean? So
crazy.
yeah, man.
All right, so you're from Brixton,
Yeah.
South London, born
Yay,
and
yay.
raised.
Born and raised, man.
Shoot.
Bricky,
That's it.
Hit some more buttons.
Brixton native myself, so you know, original Brixton native. I love it.
You left though.
True.
I'm from Tooting myself, still live there.
Whatever, man.
Yeah, not far.
Not far. Did you have any interactions with Luol Deng while he was over here? What has your experience been with him? Obviously, with him retiring recently, people have been giving him his flowers. So, what were your experiences with him?
Yeah, I mean, when I first started at Brixton Top Cats, I believe I was about 8, and Luol was about 11.
Okay.
I mean, obviously that's the first time I met him. His older brother was there, Akwe. His sister was there, Arek. I think his older brother Aju had just gone to the States or was just about to go to the States. But yeah, I mean that was the first time I met him. And when I was 8, he was 11. He was already training with the men.
Wow.
Yeah. He was training with the men, and at the time I didn't even know he was 11. I thought like, because he was like probably like 6'4" at the time, like probably.
That's
you know, he was tall.
11.
So I just thought he's one of the older guys, you know. And like
birthday beats.
He's training with them and playing with them, like playing in proper men's league games, you know.
Right.
But for me, I just remember him being like a crazy hard worker.
Okay.
Like the work ethic was just mad. Like him being like 11, 12, 13, like right up until he went to the States.
Yeah.
I just remember him, like, I've never seen anyone work so hard, man. Never, like, wearing weighted vests. I remember before they had the summer camp at Brixton Rec, they used to have it at BTG School in Streatham.
I went there.
Alumnus.
Yeah. And I got this, like, vivid memory in my head. I remember we used to have a drill called 51, where you throw the ball on the backboard, and the guy behind you has to catch it in the air and throw it on the backboard.
Yeah.
But we used to have to run outside, touch the tree, and come back. Like it was actually mad. But I remember him wearing a weighted jacket and like drenched in sweat, like just
running.
There's other guys throwing up, other guys are quitting. He just keeping on going, you know. And like for me, like it wasn't a surprise that he made the NBA. You know, he just one of them guys that he just had that discipline, that motivation, that determination from a young age, man. You know, and I mean the guy's special. You know, he's gifted athletically, but just his mental, you know, makeup and his mental build up was just next level, man. So I mean, for me, I mean, he's always been like a big brother to me, you know. Like even when I was in the States, you know, I'd go to his house in Chicago, you know. So he's always been there to look out for me or whatever advice. Or I mean, to this day we're close, you know. So I don't really see him as like, you know, I'm saying like I just treat him as
celebrity or nothing like that.
One of the man them, innit? So yeah, man. I mean, I'm just so proud of him. You know what I'm saying, so proud to be his friend. To be someone that I consider one of my big brothers, you know. All the work he's done in the community in Africa and South Sudan, back here in London with his camps and stuff. Yeah, man, it's just it's an honor to be you know, close friends with him, man. Special guy, man.
Yeah, he's an inspiration to a lot of people.
Definitely.
He's definitely I don't know, been the bridge for definitely my generation to the NBA
for sure,
in terms of representing. And then I'm so glad that he was the biggest player over here when we had the Olympics.
Yeah, most definitely.
So for him to have that experience, a home Olympics, for him to come back,
he deserved that, man.
Represent, and
deserved that.
Sorry, I always get his name wrong.
Pops
as well.
Yeah, Pops Masabuntu,
as well was on that team. And just
another,
him.
You know what I mean, another good guy, another you know, humble guy. Always looked out for the younger guys, you know. So yeah, man.
Good.
Sidebar: whatever happened to Michael Olowokandi?
Why?
Who
No
knows,
one.
man?
That's the worst draft ever.
Who knows?
Yeah, no.
2000.
I know. It's so. I'm so embarrassed that he's from.
Is he actually British or?
No, he's from Ends. Yeah.
He's born here, like raised.
I think he was
born here. I think went to America when he was really young.
Okay.
Another like sort of Ben Gordon-ish.
Oh, okay. Oh, Ben Gordon.
He was born in Nigeria.
Oh, was he born in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Was he?
But what,
oh, my bad.
raised here?
Raised here.
Moved to London when he was 4.
Oh, okay. So you grew up here.
And then, London.
Okay.
Brunel University. Bang. Moved to the US 18.
Okay.
Oh. So you went late then?
Okay.
Don't hate now.
Yeah. Moving on. So I mean, obviously, growing up in Brixton, how was your introduction? What was your introduction to basketball? So what was your introduction to basketball? How did that come? How did that sort of come into your, I guess, your environment, you know, growing in Brixton? Because the Brixton that I left Brixton when I was like 10, 11, and I still remember the Brixton before McDonald's was there. I still remember the Brixton when sort of
before you mean Pizza Hut? You mean?
No, when I remember when McDonald's was actually being built.
How old are you?
He's a little bit older than us.
38.
He's way older than us.
I look young.
You're young, man.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's why. I mean, as long as I know myself, McDonald's been there. You know what I'm saying?
Really,
Yeah, same.
But I remember it. I remember it sort of. I even remember when Pizza Hut was being built and things like that. And
what did you get in the riots?
Nothing.
You pick up some chains and that.
Nothing. But so how did Brixton come in? Sorry, how did basketball come into your attention?
To be honest, it was my older brother. He bought me a Michael Jordan poster. I never forget it. It was he was going up for a dunk against Indiana Pacers, and it was like Christmas, but it's like a random poster. I'm like, why did he buy me this basketball thing? So he bought me the basketball poster, and then from there I started like watching like little tapes and like, you know, Come Fly With Me, all this stuff. And then I just started playing like on the streets, like playing with my friends on my estate, just taking the ball everywhere, like bouncing the ball, like, you know, all the neighbors are shouting at me like, stop bouncing the ball, or stop throwing it off the wall, and you know, like people thought I was crazy on my estate. Like, I'm like out 1 a.m, like dribbling, working on ball handling. It was just like, it just kind of came to me, and then like not 1 a.m, like 8 years old, sorry. But as I got older, I was doing that. But yeah, after that, my dad took me to Brixton Rec and that's where obviously I met Jimmy Rogers.
Yeah, God bless him.
Yeah, rest in peace. And then I joined Brixton Top Cats, and then it kind of became like that community, you know, that outlet, that avenue to go down. Obviously, there's a lot of negative things going on in the community at the time. But yeah, for me, it was like a family, you know. I'm going there, had a lot of like older guys, older women that were like, you know, older sisters, you know. And it just became part of my life, you know. It just became hooked on it, and you know, I was even scared to miss a practice.
So that I guess that became your sort of your NBA community as it would be. So that, I mean, what were the teams, I guess, that you ended up supporting, or your friends were supporting, or things like that?
At that time, it was all Michael Jordan.
It was all
and then
Bulls. So to this day.
And then I remember when Allen Iverson came into the league. It was a next kind of wave, you know. Obviously, the rap, you know, the plats and then the tats, and obviously you kind of gravitate toward that being from like an urban place, you know.
That must have been a bit of an influence for you, because I know you had like cane rolls.
Man.
Not to take you back, but I know you had a bit of cane rolls.
I mean,
put pictures in, by
I mean, back then, you know, that was like the style, you know. Everyone kind of had plats, you know. But I had them for way too long, man. But yeah, you know, it's one of the things that they become a part of you. But man, and Iverson was that guy, and then obviously he visited Brixton Rec in '98. Obviously, I wasn't there because I was going on holiday that day.
Oh
I was hurt, man. My dad weren't having it, so I was going to Dominica on the day, and man, all my friends were like, "Oh yeah," and I was hurt, man. I was hurt. He had a big impact on everyone as well.
Of course,
you know? Yeah, man. Yeah,
that's crazy. So do you have an affiliation? Do you support a team at all?
Not really.
You stay riding with the Bulls? I'm still with the Bulls.
Nah, man. Nah.
This guy did.
Yeah, when they traded Luol,
I was pissed.
You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of.
Yeah, me too.
You know, like went off them.
Yeah. No, I was. No. True.
But for teams, I'm more about players. Obviously, I just enjoy different talents around the league, like Kyrie, LeBron, Steph, Kawhi. So I don't really have affiliation. Obviously, if there's an NBA Finals going on, I'm gonna pick a side depending on what players I like the most, you know.
So LA then.
You know, I am a LeBron fan, you know. A lot of people hate on LeBron, but I mean, the guy's great, man. The guy's great, you know. Like, is this your game? Probably will go down to be the greatest of all time, probably. You know, when it's all said and done, stats don't lie, you know.
This was the Grit N
Grime. Stats don't lie, you know. Will most likely be the all-time scorer, top 5 assists.
Let's get moving.
You know,
it's likely, but people will always come back to 6 finals.
I mean, rings. Come on, man. That's the case. We talk about Bill Russell. Then you know that argument is not.
It's a valid argument, man. It's a valid argument. I mean,
Robert Horry's got 10.
Come on!
It's true.
Come on!
It's true.
Come on! He stabbed us in the back.
It's a team. It's a team sport, man.
He just stabbed us in the back.
It is. Well, people will argue about this forever and ever.
He stabbed us in the back.
It's whatever. All right.